Most people know that it's illegal to drink and drive in Arizona. But what many people don't know is that Arizona is a zero-tolerance state when it comes to drunk driving. Arizona DUI law actually makes it illegal to drive if you are impaired to the slightest degree, regardless of your blood alcohol concentration, BAC. That means you can be under the legal limit of 0.08% BAC and still be arrested for driving under the influence, DUI. It's a common misconception that it is legal to drink and drive if your BAC is less than 0.08%. In Arizona, however, this is not true. Arizona law allows you to be charged with an impaired to the slightest degree standard DUI, even if you take a breath test and your blood alcohol content is below 0.08%. A DUI charge in Arizona is a first-class misdemeanor, regardless of if you are charged with having a BAC of 0.08% or of being impaired to the slightest degree. A misdemeanor DUI conviction can result in jail time, substantial fines, and a driver's license suspension. So what does impaired to the slightest degree mean? The general understanding is that impaired to the slightest degree essentially means tipsy. This means that if police officers can find enough evidence by observing your behavior to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you were impaired at all, you can be convicted of DUI regardless of your BAC. Unlike BAC levels, impaired to the slightest degree is a subjective standard. When law enforcement pulls a driver over, they will be looking for signs of possible impairment, such as if there is a smell of alcohol in the car or on the driver's person or breath, if the driver's eyes are bloodshot or watery, if the driver's speech is slurred, if the driver's driving was poor or erratic before being pulled over, if the driver's fine motor skills are slowed or clumsy, if the driver's behavior and/or attitude show possible signs of impairment, if the driver can focus, concentrate, and follow instructions. While the SFSTs were designed to test balance, reflexes, coordination, and memory for evidence of impairment, you could perform poorly on field sobriety tests for a variety of reasons besides intoxication. Unfortunately, the SFSTs have no method for differentiating between poor performance because of intoxication and poor performance for other reasons. For example, you could do poorly on the SFSTs due to poor balance, medical problems, being overweight, exhaustion, illness, or advanced age, and then be arrested for DUI because law enforcement concludes you are impaired. If a police officer asks you to participate in field sobriety testing, Arizona law gives you the right to refuse without any legal consequences. Exercising this right can help you avoid a wrongful arrest for impaired in the slightest degree DUI. If you've been arrested for impaired in the slightest degree DU, a skilled criminal defense attorney has many options for fighting a conviction, especially if you took a breath test and your BAC was under 0.08%. Because impaired in the slightest degree DUI is so subjective, there is ample room for an attorney to attack the evidence the state has against you, making it easier to defend than DUI cases based on BAC test results. An attorney can argue that you were not impaired or that you performed poorly on field sobriety testing for a reason besides impairment by drugs or alcohol. Remember, to be convicted of an impaired in the slightest degree standard DUI, it's not enough for the prosecutor to simply prove that your driving was impaired. The prosecutor has to be able to prove that you were impaired because you used drugs, alcohol, a vapor-releasing substance containing a toxic substance, or any combination of these. If your attorney can point to an alternate explanation for your impaired driving, your charges can be dropped or reduced. If you're facing charges relating to a DUI, you might want to understand Arizona's law and secure the right legal counsel to ensure a fair trial. Call the Phoenix DUI Lawyer Criminal Law Team at 602-900-9891 to get expert-level legal help with your case.